Hello everybody, it's good to see y'all. This is David with Philippine American Couple Story. I'm going to make a series of short videos about going to the Philippines, preparation, what you might see, some tips that I think are important. And I thought I'd just share it with all of you guys since we haven't got to chit-chat in a while. So first let me say we were lucky enough to get to go to the Philippines again this year. And for the most part we had a really good time. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work to go there. So keep that in mind. But we're going to do a little series. And this one we're going to start off with, getting prepared to go, or your preparation. So if you're from a Western country, and of course I'm from the United States, so I'm going to be using it as our primary example. Now first, keep in mind you got to have your passport and have it updated. You don't really have to have a visa to get into the Philippines like you do some other countries. But there are some rules. Some of those rules kind of start out with you got about 28 to 29 days turnaround to be in the Philippines without getting a tourist visa, which means that if you have a passport, you can go there. They'll let you in, but you have to have what they call a forwarding ticket to get into the Philippines. Because, which I think is a really good thing. I think the United States ought to do this, if they don't. But you have to prove to the Philippine government that, look, I'm here to stay for 28 days. I have a ticket showing that I'm going to be leaving the Philippines and going back to another country. That allows the Philippine government to know that you're not going to become a financial burden upon their country. Or at least that's the hope between all of that. So make sure you have a forwarding ticket. Now look, there's a couple things you can do, and there's a lot of videos on the internet that talks about this. If you're coming back home, your return flight is fine. If you plan on staying in the Philippines and you want to extend to the 60 days and even 120 days later on, but to get into the country, you can basically buy yourself a throwaway ticket to maybe China or Singapore or Malaysia or somewhere for anywhere from 50 to 150 bucks. But that allows you time to get your tourist visa, which allows you to stay longer, which you don't have to have a forwarding ticket saying when you're going to go, when you're going to leave the country. So that's one thing here. Now, coming from the United States, it's really easy to get to the Philippines. Really easy. Our government, going through, we flew out of Dallas to Korea. Well, they don't care. They just want you out of the country. So it's kind of like, all right, woohoo. We got through really easily. No hassles with anything we took to the Philippines. And we took a lot of snacks and candies and a lot of clothing for friends and family in the Philippines. No issues, no customs issues, no nothing. When we got to the Philippines, they didn't really check anything. Now, don't be stupid and take guns or drugs or anything, but for the most part, it's okay. You can take pretty much anything you want over there. That's legal. So we did that, and now, our flight from Dallas, we flew to Incheon, Korea, is 14 hours in the air. So remember this, 14 hours in the air. And we've made this trip a couple times, and one thing we've learned is a 3-hour layover is really good. That's about the right amount of time so that you're not just sitting there twiddling your thumb and wasting for hours and hours. Now, Incheon in Korea Seoul, Korea is a beautiful airport. A lot of shopping. Architecturally, it's gorgeous. There's a lot of live vegetation there. So experience that. And then, of course, you fly on, what we did is on to Cebu from there. And the new Cebu airport at Mactan Island is really nice. Now, be prepared. There is definitely a long wait to get through passport inspection and customs in the Philippines. It took us a good, almost an hour to get through the lines to finally get out to our driver. So be prepared for those type of things. Like I said, I think we flew Korean Air. We like flying Korean Air. They have good food. The seats are nice and big, even in the cheap seats. So I'm a big fan of Korean Air. So getting prepared for that, keep some of those things in mind, all right? And then some other things I've thought of, I want to tell you a little bit about getting prepared for when you get into the Philippines. Now, it's hot, but not horribly bad. Not just like Florida or Texas. I don't have a problem with the heat. A lot of people complain about how hot it is, but I actually enjoyed it. So it is a little bit like Florida. At times you might get pop-up showers. Be prepared for that, pop-up showers. But what you might not be used to coming from a Western country, especially in the United States in the major areas, is there's a lot of trash. There's a lot of dirt everywhere. Keep in mind that there's not a lot of curbs and perfectly designed sidewalks. A lot of sidewalks are uneven and they're kind of rough. Traffic lights and pedestrian crossings are few and far between. So just know that it's not going to look like the United States. Be prepared. The buildings there's a lot of them that are brand new and beautiful, and then they're going to be right next to what looks like a squatter's village. So a lot of tin, a lot of rust, a lot of concrete, a lot of busted concrete walls, a lot of rusted gates, things of that nature, a lot of trash. So just keep in mind that's what you're going to experience right off. You'll probably notice a difference in the air quality, especially coming into Cebu, which is the second largest city there in the Philippines. You can smell the exhaust. You can smell the gray water, what we call gray water in the United States, which is kind of like a sewage runoff. You can smell a lot of that. One thing I found interesting was I could taste and smell the difference in the exhaust because they don't have the same EPA regulations as we do. Same thing with the air conditioning units in the hotels and the restaurants. So it has a different freon is what I'm assuming, because it definitely smells and tastes a little different. So be aware of some of that. The Philippines is absolutely beautiful. The people are wonderful. There's a kind of like a have and a have-not structure in the Philippines. You have a lot of people that have a lot. There's lots and lots and lots of cars, lots and lots of really cool cars, ones we haven't seen before. But there's a lot of poverty. There's people sleeping on the streets, sleeping in the alleyways. You might see them urinating in public, which I know is not what they wish, but it is what happens. You might find people, like here in the United States, we have areas where there's homeless, and you'll see some of that in the Philippines quite a bit too. So keep that in mind. Might be a little bit of a shock for you. You'll find that a lot of times there'll be street kids hustling for a peso or two. What some people recommend, and this is up to you, is you can carry a pocket full of pesos. You know, remember right now I think there's $1 to 50 pesos, and then you could just give out a peso and the kids and make them happy, and that's how they try to make their living. You also have just bicycles and people and everything everywhere in the cities. If you go outside the city, there's still people everywhere. It is densely populated. So just be prepared for when you go to the malls, you know, if you go to the strip areas where there are restaurants and parks and things, you're going to find a lot of people. A lot of people. So keep some of that in mind. You have to watch very carefully for people so that you don't hit them, run them over, they don't run you over. So just be prepared for some things like that. Now, then of course, coming home. And so I'm going to try to keep these little videos short and just touch on these basic topics. So preparation for coming home. Remember, when you're coming home, it's not as easy because you got to go through U.S. Customs. Now, luckily, if you have your U.S. passport, it makes things easier coming through customs versus somebody with a foreign passport has longer delays. So part of what we did, if you haven't seen some of the videos, is my wife is from the Philippines. She was a Philippine citizen. I had her become a U.S. citizen. That way her and I could travel together, and we made sure that we got through everything together and all of those type of situations. Now, the U.S. Customs has different rules in the Philippines about things you can bring. They didn't give us any hassles. We brought back a lot of snacks and treats and gifts for people. I do know they allow you to bring a certain amount of alcohol. We didn't bring any, so I don't know what the rules are. But you might, if you're going to bring alcohol back, be prepared for that. Know what that is. Remember, the airline says, your suitcases can't weigh more than 50 pounds. And we got 2 checked bags and then one carry-on and a personal item as a carry-on. So for us, we had a lot of space. We brought a lot back and we took a lot there, knowing that we could carry so much weight with us. Now, remember on preparing to come home, get to the airports early. Even when you leave, get to the airports early. Always be early. At Mactan, I don't know about the airport there in Manila. I just know about the one in Mactan Island, Cebu. Come early, get prepared to wait in line. You're going to wait in line, and you're going to wait in line. And then it's a pretty airport now, and everybody's very friendly. The other good thing that I was telling somebody that we met there who's involved in the airport business there is that as an American coming over, I no longer feel like I have to worry about any scams at the airport. The new president, or their existing president, has done a very good job cleaning up corruption, I think, in the Philippines in general, but especially at the airport. 10, 15 years ago, you might have to worry about somebody planning the old bullet scheme, where they throw a bullet in your luggage and you got to give them $100 or they take you to jail. None of that crap happens anymore. It's very, very professional. It just takes time. And the airport's nice, like I said, and then you come home. We had delays in Dallas, of course, because when we got back home, it was 30 degrees and rainy versus 90 degrees and sunny in the Philippines. So a little bit about preparation. If you have any other questions about how to prepare for that, I'm sure I didn't cover everything that we did going into this, but I'm going to follow this up with transportation, about food, about a topic about the people, and about family and money. So I'm going to do a short series of 5 or 6 videos here just covering certain topics of tips that I hope that might be helpful for you guys if you want to travel there, which I highly encourage you to do. Don't stay home. Travel. Enjoy life. Go to the Philippines. All right, guys. This is David with Philippine American Couple Story. I ask if you will please like, subscribe, and share our videos because it will make my beautiful Filipino wife very happy. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care, and I'll chat with you soon.